My name is Brian Barczyk. I've been working with exotic animals for over 25 years. I'm no zoologist, just a guy with a passion for animals. And that passion often takes me on animal adventures around the world. This week I'm in Arizona, starting at the Phoenix Herpetological Society Zoo and then heading down to the Chiricahua Mountains to the Desert Museum. You're watching Snake Bites. So hey guys, you know, we've been filming Snake Bites for a good 6.5 years, 350 some episodes. It's a lot of footage, but what you guys don't realize, believe it or not, is there's probably a good dozen shows that you've never seen. Maybe there were technical issues, maybe we just didn't like the way they turned out. We decided to never air them. Well, about a month ago, I was flown out to Arizona by the Arizona Herp Society to give a talk, and I had some really cool animal adventures, hitting the Phoenix Herpetological Zoo, heading down to the Chiricahua Mountains, all over the place, and unfortunately all the audio got corrupted and it was unusable. But we did get some audio from the camera itself, and rather than not sharing this cool footage with you, I've decided to go ahead and make this a show that may not have the best audio, but you can share the experience with us, and hopefully you can bear with it and enjoy it as much as I enjoyed filming. The Phoenix Herpetological Society Reptile Sanctuary and Zoo has an amazing venomous collection represented by 97 species and over 240 specimens. Some of the craziest venomous snakes I've ever seen, and certainly probably the largest one of any private facility. Although I love playing with venomous snakes, let's start with animals that won't kill me. Although there's a tremendous amount of native species here in venomous and crocodilians, I'm going to go ahead and start with some non-venomous exotic snakes. This happens to be a Taiwan beauty snake, or an Othriophis tiniera freezii. Now these guys are a colubrid snake, and you can certainly tell, look at how big that animal is, and typically they have a really placid temperament, as you can see with this guy right here. Now that's one impressive colubrid, isn't it? Arizona boasts more species of rattlesnake than any other state in America. How many species of rattlesnakes are known to be native to Arizona? A, 6, B, 10, or C, 13? Go ahead and answer in the comments down below and check back later in the show to see if you have the right answer. In this week's Reptile Report Spotlight, we'll be highlighting field herping forums. Go ahead and check out the URL down below or click on the link in the description. Now, rosy boas are an interesting snake that actually do range into the Arizona area, although these are localities that are from the Baja. Now, they're really a cool little boa, and they have live young, but they'll only have 3 to 5 babies, and they have them really big. They'll come right out and start eating fuzzies right away, but they're really gorgeous. And again, there's all kinds of different localities and subspecies. This happens to be the Mexican variety. And again, these guys can sometimes be a little cantankerous. They're really heavy feeders, so as soon as they feel something touch their body, wham, they hit it, just like this guy did on my finger right here. But fortunately, they have relatively small mouths, and the bites don't hurt that bad. Again, these come in many different flavors and colors, depending on the locality, and there's even mutations like albinos and leucistics. Now, I tell you, rosy boas are cool if you're ever looking for a boa that stays this size. Now this is a snake that I've always wanted to handle, and to be honest with you, I've never had the opportunity. This is a Coachwhip, and these guys are the perfect elapid training animal. It's almost like a little taipan, but I tell you what, it's not venomous whatsoever. It's a colubrid snake, and it's called a masticophis, and the locals call them nasticophis because they're so fast and typically really mean. But this guy seems to be pretty well behaved. Now they're a colubrid that's native to this area, and they can come in many different colors and phases, all the way from reds to greens, browns, and even blacks. They will eat pretty much anything, from frogs, lizards, snakes, rodents, anything that gets in front of them. I tell ya, look at how beautiful the reds are coming through in this animal. My first experience with the Coachwhip was pretty cool, and I came away without even getting bit. Now this has always been one of my favorite snakes. It's a Dumeral's boa from Madagascar. I actually kept and bred these animals when I was 18 years old. Back then they were extremely rare. Now they become much more common in the pet trade, but over the last 8 or 10 years you're seeing them less and less frequently. And unfortunately, with the deforestation over in Madagascar, they're becoming extremely rare in the wild as well. Now there's actually a very closely related cousin to these called the Malagasy ground boas that look almost just like them, and they're extremely rare. Now the Dumerals are going to have up to 20 babies in a litter, whereas the Malagasy grounds only have about 5 or 6, and the babies are much larger. There's just something that I've always loved about Dumerals. You can't come to Arizona and not highlight chuckwallas. These are endemic to the southwest of the United States, and they're a really interesting lizard because the males get much larger than the females, and the females will actually retain some of their juvenile colors. Believe it or not, these guys love basking spots up to 140 degrees or plus than that, and guess what else? They're a vegetarian lizard. It's kind of interesting to see an animal like this. You would initially think they gotta be an insectivore. Believe it or not, all they eat is vegetation, and they're an egg layer. These are some cool animals, and just look how they just chill out. That makes for an awesome, awesome pet lizard. Take a look at this animal right here. Ever since I've seen it, I couldn't get the smile off my face. This is an African pixie frog, and just look how huge this thing is. Now these guys will literally eat anything that crosses their path, and typically they get about the size of a dinner plate, but it's rare to actually see one that's that big. And these guys will legitimately eat something almost the size of their entire body. Now they have a really bony jaw in here, and when you do get bit by them, you'll bleed a little bit, but it's not that bad. But just look at how cute that face is. That is one of the cutest things I've ever seen.
The Phoenix Herpetological Society Zoo boasts one of the best private collections of crocodilians in the world, with 19 species represented, and some of these guys were a bit feisty.
You guys know I love amazing animals with even more amazing stories. Well, that would happen to me, Mr. Stubbs. He came to the zoo in 2005 as a rescue, and of course he's missing a tail. But that's not the interesting part. The most interesting part is he's the first alligator ever with a prosthetic tail. Now you guys have probably seen the movie A Dolphin's Tale. It's much like that. This guy just slips right on here, and he can actually use his tail to swim. Now that is just unbelievable. Again, Mr. Stubbs, the first ever prosthetic tailed alligator. Well, you guys know that I absolutely love African spur thighs, or sulcata, but I've never had this many all around me.
It's hard to describe the feeling of having a few thousand pounds of tortoises climb all over you in search of food, but I swear I could have stayed here all day, with the exception of the occasional nip. These guys were so much fun.
Oh, this is awesome. I tell you what, I could play like this all day long. This is absolutely probably the funnest I've had in the last 2 years.
There were so many awesome animals at this zoo, but my favorite was this adult male water monitor. As you can see, he was puppy dog tame, and his girlfriend obviously wanted a little bit of attention as well. After an amazing day at the Phoenix Herpetological Society Zoo, we packed up our gear and headed south. The scenery is amazing, driving through the deserts of Arizona and into the Chiricahua Mountains.
I'm here with Bob Ashley, owner of the Desert Museum, and actually me and Bob have been friends for probably about 20 years, and he comes from Michigan where I hail, and he's always talked about moving to Arizona or New Mexico to open up a Rattlesnake Museum. So first off, how long have you been here?
Just over 5 years. We moved here from Michigan just over 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, I tell you, like I said, I remember sitting around the pet shop talking to you about this dream, and it's an incredible place. I can't believe you finally did it. And, so, how many rattlesnakes do you have here?
Well, we probably have close to 200 rattlesnakes here. We probably have about 40 different species.
40 different
here.
Species.
Close to that.
Mainly representing the southwest of the U.S.
Yes, mostly the southwest going into Mexico.
That's
our specialty, is kind of northern montane, Mexican rattlesnakes.
Oh, look at this animal right here. This is really, truly a beautiful snake. And it always reminds me of gray banded king snakes. And, So tell me a little bit about the banded rocks. They obviously, what's their range, and they're very different depending.
They
on
really, in
what
every mountain range, they're really quite a bit different. They just show different, patterns and different colorations. A lot of times because of different rocks and vegetation that they're found in those ranges, and the elevations that they're found in. So these are found as far north as the Magdalenas, New Mexico, which is probably about an hour south of Albuquerque. And they're found in just about every mountain range in Arizona south of I-10. And they're little populations, and every one of them just a little bit different. They're all the same snake. They don't call them anything different. So taxonomically, it's the same thing. They're all Lepus clawbri. So here's a Chiricahua, and you can see they're just some different, completely different kind of look to it.
So much more speckling. I mean, it's just amazing.
This is the Arizona black rattlesnake, and you can find these probably about 60 miles outside of Tucson, between Tucson and here.
What a rattle that guy has, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah, big rattle. And these animals can actually, during the day, they lighten up a lot in color, so they can look completely different in color during the day, really light. And when they're born as babies, they're a very light color as well. They look like a North Pacific rattlesnake.
So Bob, we have a speckled rattlesnake.
This is a speckled rattlesnake, and these in the last 6 or so years have become very popular here because they were just recently kind of found a little population of these down in Yuma, and they're quite a bit smaller than we typically find there because it's so desolate and dry. This is about as big as they get in the wild, and they're all white like this. You can find some different colored ones as well there, but most of them are white. And this is just probably not even a mile away from this one in the same area. Just a little bit different, a little bit darker, some different.
Look at how different it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they almost look like calicos or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful snakes.
They are amazing.
So they're variable. And here's a sidewinder. So
wow. Look
to a layman, I mean, a person that doesn't know a difference probably would know, but you can see they got the higher ocular scales there,
Yeah.
Of course they'll move.
Wow, look at that. Well, I tell you what, you're making me a rattlesnake fan because these are absolutely gorgeous. So we really have a treat here. This happens to be a patternless Mojave rattlesnake, the only one in the entire world. I tell you, she almost reminds me of a patternless southern pine snake.
A little bit. Oh yeah, for sure. That same kind of look too. Oh yeah. And I remember as a kid, those things are great. I love those things. So.
That is a treat. I love this snake. So we're in a back room with kind of the overflow and extra animals that aren't on display, and this one certainly caught my eye.
And this is the Arizona Originals rattlesnake. Yeah, Crocodilians and Tortoises. Beautiful snake. It's the Arizona State Reptile. Yeah, endangered in Arizona. And yeah, the great snakes. They're only found in Mexico and Arizona. They're not found in any other state.
All right, Bob. So obviously we have a pretty pissed off snake right here. Tell me what this is to start with.
Well, this animal was found in Texas, and it's actually a western diamondback that's a natural occurring hybrid with a timber rattlesnake.
Now that we've seen some of these incredible rattlesnakes, and obviously we're ending with this monster here that just looks like it just wants to go at us big time. What's the protocol here with working with venomous snakes if something were to go bad?
Well, we have the poison control number on the back of all the doors in all the rooms here, so anytime you get bit by a snake, which hasn't happened, but if you were to get bit by a snake here, you call the Poison Control Center. We also published a book on basically first aid for snake bite in the Western United States. And basically it says, be calm, don't treat the thing yourself because all the snake bite kits out there, none of them work. The only thing they do is suck, right? Nothing else. So
literally suck. Right?
They literally suck. And so you really need to get to the hospital. That's what we recommend. So
I can definitely tell you have great protocol and the animals look amazing. So I can't thank you enough for showing us around. This was an awesome day and incredible facility.
Great. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Arizona is fraught with so much history, so I had to end my trip by visiting Tombstone and seeing the OK Corral in person. Arizona is one of my favorite states, and I'm so thankful for the Arizona Herp Society for bringing me out here and showing me around. Make sure to support your local herp societies. Arizona boasts more species of rattlesnake than any other state in America. How many species of rattlesnakes are native to Arizona? If you said C, 13, you're 100% correct. Good job.
So there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed filming it for you. As always, I was Facebooking and tweeting my way through it, so make sure to follow me over at SnakeBytesTV. Until next week, you've been watching Snake Bites.